Hey everyone, I'm Cynthia Conte, and welcome to the baddest bitches of boxing. We are back, and my fabulous co-host, Miss Jeandra LeBeauf, and we got the one and only Miss La Diva, Maricela Cornejo.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey.
Welcome.
Welcome to the table.
I am so excited to be here with you women, and thank you so much for all you do for women's boxing.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you.
The pleasure is ours. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. All right, Maricela, we saw you and we're like, something's different. You look good. First off, I have been reading about you. I mean, I've interviewed you several times, and I always get excited about women's fights. What happened? Where's your fight? That's the first thing I'm going to ask, because you were supposed to fight many times. Was it the Probellum Marv Nation show?
Yeah.
Well, what happened? Let's just get that.
Yeah, I woke up at 3 a.m. with a call that she had missed her connecting flight, and she lived in middle of very far Timbuktu. Well, very far from an airport. So the connecting flight, they unfortunately did not make it.
She couldn't get on another flight?
There was no other flights.
Where did she live?
Exactly. But also with my point was why was she flown in? So there was a lot of questions, you know, but there were answers of she wanted to fly in. It wasn't that far. It wasn't that far, but the connecting flights were the difficult part.
Okay.
So at 3 a.m. I was on wait. I was like, okay, let me go downstairs and get some water. And let me get So I know. It was hard, but I just got to stay positive.
So wait, when you're on weight, the fight is no longer happening. You didn't eat?
No, I was fine. To drop it, I don't really get too hungry because I'm anxious for the fight.
Yeah.
So thankfully, I don't really get too hungry. My food choices are small, bland. So sometimes I'd be like, I'd rather not eat and just drink water or just hydrate. Because for me, it's like I can go without food, but to go without water, that's the most difficult part.
That's fascinating to me. Before you move on to that, so she was flying in the day or the day before the fight. Mm-hmm. For you, reasonably as an athlete, how many days before do you like to be wherever it is you're going to fight, unless it's at your home? Well, even if it's your home base, maybe at the hotel or whatever. That wasn't unusual to you that she wasn't there yet?
Yes, but it's it was a 4-hour flight, I guess. Where were we at? Costa Rica, so Colombia. She wasn't too far from there, so it would be, I wouldn't say from here to LA, but kind of that she didn't have to. She wanted to just continue to train at her base to be comfortable, because she didn't know if there was a gym there and all that stuff. So I can understand that part, because if I fight in Vegas, I'd rather until the last minute of the day, just to get all my work in at my home base and to make weight, peacefully, I guess. But yeah, that was a frustrating part. But I don't know. I'm not going to get mad. I am, but
I was going to say, you didn't get to fight.
What am I going to do?
Right.
What am I going to do? I've gone through so much in life that is just okay, this happened. God, I hate this, but I trust you.
Yeah.
So
I love it. For all the armchair quarterbacks who think they know everything about boxing and have never boxed in their life, what are those final days like leading up to the fight, especially when you've had this instance where the opponent fell out? I feel you about not wanting to jinx it. What are those days like for you mentally? What are you doing with yourself to keep your mind at rest, to keep yourself focused? What are those days like when you lead up to the fight?
For me, everybody's different. Some people they love having a lot of people around. They don't want to be by themselves. I love being by myself. That's how I get the most energy, because somebody, unintentionally will tell you their problems, and that's bringing energy.
You take that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I've found myself in, positions where my family, and they know now, during fight week, they don't call me. My mom was like, can you at least send me an emoji? So I try to, do that. I'm partnered up with Marv Nation.
Okay.
And I'm grateful to him, because I don't know if I can say, or we don't have a contract, but it's by word. And I'm
wow, that's bold, girl.
Well, I'm glad you said it, because run the tape back.
So I don't care. Even somebody who both friends with, we're all friends with, we went through a tough time, but never was it an option for me to leave her.
Okay.
Never. And we don't have a contract, but never.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'll give you the opportunity. I'll give you the option. If you don't want to continue this because we're not seeing eye to eye right now, it's on you, but never would I do that. Once I give you my word, it's my word. Like, I value that because there's so many people out there with that.
And you know what? If you went back on your word, you know how fast boxing is like high school.
100%.
That would go around so
100%,
fast.
100%.
Is there a certain freedom in that with work, standing on your word? Because so few people stand on their word these days. And even with all the contracts in the world, we see so many stories where it's like, well, you didn't see this T dotted in the contract. So no, the whole thing is null and void. So is there a level of freedom or fear when you operate like that and on faith and on sight? Is that freeing? How does that make you feel?
It makes me even work harder for them to just with Marb Nation. It's like if we have an opportunity to sign with a bigger promotion, and truly the only promotion person that I would sign with is and I don't know how you guys feel about this, is with the Paul brothers.
We've
like
had whatever you
conversations.
like.
You know what? If they are able to put fights on, do it.
That's right.
At this point, because you have the Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Golden Boy, it's like the same players. If they're not putting you on now, someone's got to put you on.
That's
No, but
right.
it's mostly because I would trust him more than I would trust any other promoter.
That's big.
The one promoter out there tried to do me dirty, real dirty, on a contract recently, and sorry. They thought, oh, these are girls, we're gonna get over on them.
You really, I swear, that some of these people think that women are just dumb.
Right.
They were gonna pocket a big chunk of my
money.
How
did you find out?
I said I want to see the original contract, not your contract you created for me. They hung up.
Wow.
Who is this?
They know.
Spill the tea.
One day, yeah.
They know who they are.
It's gonna come out in her
You
book.
know who you are. Yeah. 2 people. One person I actually trusted. The other one I was like, I never really trusted you. But one person actually I was like, dang, you have daughters. Good luck. God bless you.
When you bring up the Paul brother, what do you think that they're bringing? What have they figured out that these other promoters haven't? Because they really are out there beating the drum. I think I saw recently that Jake Paul had made a meeting with the
Mauricio.
WBC, and they've been talking and trying to figure some things out. What are they figuring out that these other promoters haven't figured out?
Well, they have a platform. They have a huge platform. They've worked hard, over the years to create their own platform. And I've always said, I'm grateful. Thank you for choosing boxing. They could have chosen
anything.
golf,
Yeah.
so they're bringing more eyes to us. Is it fair that they're getting paid so much more than, how they say these real boxers? I mean, that's up to you to decide. Is it fair? Whose fault is it? You have to self-promote at some time, also yourself, and work hard nobody's going to work as hard as you for you. Don't depend on a promoter to promote you. There's so many boxers under, promotion companies who aren't getting promoted. There's like Rashidi Ellis also. Yeah. Holy crap, he should be huge, but they're relying also on the promoter to do their job. But
they have so many people to promote.
So many. So you have to take that upon your own hands and really self-promote and stay, dang it, what's saying?
Relevant
when you don't have a fight,
Yeah.
And is it fun? No, but you're working for your future, and to work with other companies as well. So that's what they've created. They were smart. They have a huge platform. They're bringing more eyes into the game, and they're making a difference for these fighters. The fighters that were on the last fight that he fought, he paid them pretty well, much more than any other promoter that has paid these fighters, on the undercard. So you can say whatever you want about them, but at the end, they're making a difference. And I'm very grateful for that.
Do you think they're scaring the other promoters with this ability? Because like you said, they come with a platform, huge YouTubers, things that they've done over the year. one of them was a Disney star, right? Or was
Logan
was a
Paul.
Disney star. And they came a different path. Is that maybe a benefit because they don't have those old antiquated ways that the other promoters have done in the past, the fresh eyes? Like, what do you think is the biggest pro outside of their platform that they've
changed with the time.
Yeah.
You know, at the time you have to, what's that word I'm looking for? I can't think, sorry. You have to go with the time changing, you know.
It's the generation right now.
Yeah.
It's really true. I mean, when you think about it, when we look at, when we think about Instagram and the way boxers have used social media, I always think Ryan Garcia. Yeah, when he first came out, we're like, oh my God, he's an Instagram boxer, but he can box. But he has a following now. The Paul brothers and him are friends, and then they brought their whole social media world coming in, and they make money.
They get paid.
Good God, the views. I mean, I'm too old sometimes to watch this stuff, but I'm like, God, why didn't we know this back then?
I know.
We'd be bajillionaires by now.
It takes a lot of work to do those videos. I just recently started getting into TikTok, and I did a video. I woke up literally within 3 minutes. I grabbed the camera. I was like, I'm gonna do this TikTok. Girl, it got 1 point like some million views.
Exactly.
Of you dancing?
That? I don't know. No, me drinking a tea. But it was the way I cut it. And also like giving weight loss tips, actually.
Oh,
so I was like,
okay.
You need to provide for somebody. You can't be like, oh, look at me, I'm so cute, and look at me in my pretty dress. No, you have to provide, you know, some information for others. What are they going to get out of watching you? You know, you have knowledge. And I know how to lose weight.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I started boxing. I want to lose 5-10 pounds. Girl, I'm still trying to lose those 5-10 pounds here and there.
Girl, we all are.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's that. And when you have eyes on you, you know, my bathing suit, the red bathing suit, I did that very tactically.
If y'all haven't seen that red bathing suit,
Just Google Maricela
How many views did
red
you say it
bathing
had?
suit.
lot.
And that's just on one YouTube channel.
Yeah.
8 million views the last time I look at it. And that's
hilarious.
just off of the thumbnail. That's not even watching the weigh-in.
Right?
Because the thumbnail is not even just your portion of the weigh-in. It's like those other fighters need to be cutting you a check.
Yeah. Right?
That day, I remember it was my first time doing it. I was so nervous. Because I come from a Mexican background. We're in our calzones, basically, in our heels, and our, you know, that's embarrassing. I'm not comfortable with that.
What'd your mom say when she saw that?
In Spanish.
Tapate. And I said, Mom, I work hard for this, okay?
Cover up?
Jesus wants me to show my hard work. That's what I would tell them. So, yeah, I was nervous. And I told Nancy, I was like, as soon as I do this, give me my cover and let me cover up. So I knew it when I practiced in the mirror. I was like, oh my gosh, the minute I do this, the girls are just going to go.
I remember when you fought on 360, the first question I asked Tom Loeffler, I'm like, is she going to bring out the red bathing suit? I can say that because, you know, I've seen it and I totally appreciate a girl's body and boobs. So, and you look
Girls'
hot.
bodies are amazing.
Yeah. So why not? You work hard.
Yes.
Show it.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Is that bathing suit going to make its appearance again for this fight that you won't tell us about?
Well, I have a huge surprise, or small. I have a big / small surprise come weigh-in.
Okay.
It's going to be a 2-piece now.
Ooh.
And that makes me even much more nervous.
So when you wear a 2-piece, are you going to wear a thong? Are you going to wear a Brazilian cut? Or
Well, things have changed in my body. So when one is lacking, you have to show the other side.
Okay, come on now. Yes.
No, there you go.
Okay, now we've seen in recent times, like Ebony Bridges has come out in sexy lingerie.
Holy smokes.
I love.
Yeah.
Love. But there's also some women that say, why should they be wearing stuff like that? First of all, in a weigh-in, a guy is in an underwear, so a woman is naturally in lingerie, a bra and underwear, or bikini.
We got a neighbor down the hall who wore an elephant on the scale.
Right?
Yeah, he wore a little elephant, like a little
that.
tusk on one of those fights. So, hey.
Yeah, I remember.
But I mean, why do you think that so many women are appalled by it when you're essentially in a bikini? It just happens to be something sexy.
Correct. That's a question they have to ask themselves. Like, why? I mean, when I see something like that, I'm like, dang, girl, you look good.
I know. I'm Googling. I'm like, where can I buy this?
yes. So I don't understand that. So I wouldn't know the answer to that because I would never, like, my mind doesn't go that way. And I don't know if is it a hater way? Or is it just them, like, not being comfortable doesn't have to, you know, be... You don't have to shame somebody else on that because you're not comfortable with that.
I think with, with a lot of some fighters have said, you know, let your fists do the talking in the ring and not bring the attention to you on the scale.
But here's the thing. That's stupid thinking. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Because
Very
promote
stupid.
that shit.
Promote it.
That's sorry, can we cuss on here?
Absolutely.
It's a grown folks show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, just wait
So-
for the after dark show.
So that's what was my tactic for the red bathing suit. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the attention here, then I'm gonna take it to the ring. Because
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, who's this? What do you do? And then follow you in there. That was my only reason why I did that. And also I felt like I was more covered up. Because
Yeah.
it's a one piece versus a two piece and you're in calzones and you're, top. I don't know.
It makes for a great discussion, though, because women always talk about we want agency over our bodies, we want control over our bodies, we want to do what we want to do. But then when the next woman does what she wants to do, then it's a problem. So which
a
is
problem
it? Do
'cause
we
it
want
didn't work
do
out.
we want a?
For
There
them.
it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Self-love, ladies.
Self-love.
Self-love. I mean, I wish I could wear the red bikini, but
Girl, you can.
oh no,
Exactly.
I don't
Yes,
want to
you
wear it for me. For me, for my own level of comfort, I'm not with that level of comfort. But like you said, I appreciate any woman who is confident, who loves themselves, love their bodies, big, small, short,
Absolutely.
tall, in between. You look bomb.
You do.
And so I'm going to look at the picture and go, damn, Maricela looks bomb. Go, girl. And so, agency over body above all things.
Yeah, agree.
Now, before anything else, you're not just a fighter. And I remember I asked you, or you wrote a book.
A children's
Tia
book.
Te Ama,
Yes.
Auntie Love. Why a children's book?
I have 12 nieces and nephews. So the love I have for them is so scary. And I mean, you are a new mom. How do you feel like a piece of your heart is always out there?
Absolutely.
So that's so scary to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love them so much. I'm so afraid to love even more my own if God allows me to become a mother one day. It's a love I'd never obviously felt. My first niece, I was like maybe a freshman in high school, and they're everything. I love that they're able to watch my journey, and that's why I work so hard, but I don't give up, and when it's been very difficult. I want to show them that obviously, when you start something, God gives you a vision, but there'll be moments. God gives you a vision, but He never tells you the downs. He shows you little glimpses, and that's truly how when I started boxing, I truly, I walked into Wild Card Gym and I saw Golden Boy, Jenny Rivera. I saw certain things there, but I didn't see the pitfalls.
Yeah.
I didn't see the dark moments. I think if he would have shown me that, I would be like, nah, I'm good.
And this was what,
I'll go bake
23 years
cookies.
old when you started boxing?
Yeah.
And you boxed just to get in shape. I remember I read that you worked at a construction company that brought you to LA.
Healthcare Technical Services, shout out to them.
If it wasn't for them, you would have had this career.
They relocated me from Seattle.
Oh.
And I was moving out here to, I learned a lot of Spanish on the construction site with the construction guys, and that's what I got laid off, and then I started boxing, and because I was getting unemployment, I was like, cool, I'm gonna just do this in the meantime, because they were gonna rehire me when another like Kaiser or whatever airport that we were working on, and I fell in love with the sport. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Would you want them to box? The nieces and nephews?
Yeah, it teaches you so much. Take a punch. Let's see how you handle it. And that's why I wanted to move out here, because I've always been an old soul since very young. I would always be told that. They're like, you're an old soul, because I'd be so interested in people's stories and and I always had so many dreams, but I never spoke about them because I saw everybody around they would say their dreams. They're like, you can't do that. So I'd always hold everything in and dream really big, but my imagination I always knew. I was like, I'm going to move to LA or New York. And I moved to both. Truly, I was only in New York for a few months. But I would love for them to do that, because when I felt like Seattle I've learned enough there, I wanted to challenge myself in a bigger, I called it the ocean. I was like, I'm in a pond in Seattle. I want to go to the ocean and swim with the big sharks, see how I handle myself there. And it teaches you a lot about yourself.
I like that. It does. Did you picture your life becoming a boxer?
No.
What did you want to be when you grow
A lawyer.
up? Really?
Because I love to argue. My parents said. They're like, you always.
What kind of lawyer?
Whoever argues. I don't know. I would always say a lawyer, but I did work for a lawyer in Seattle, PI and L&I, personal injury. But I didn't like it because I saw what the paralegal did, and she would do all the work obviously for the lawyer, and I was going to college to get my A for paralegal. And I was like, I don't like this. This is like too much paperwork and you don't talk to people, and I want to talk to people, and what the heck, she's doing the work for the lawyer, so I was like, and then I found out how many years. I was like, nah, I'm good. And yeah, I went through my own rebel stages of like drug use and everything like that, but I truly found out that it was because I was fighting with my past, and I never really faced my past.
What's your past, if you don't mind me asking?
Being sexually molested by a family friend. So I was always running from that, and I would always like self-destruct. Very young, I would sleep with knives and take a full bottle of pills, try to end my life. But my parents would always think I'm crazy and all this stuff. But I was battling a freaking fight in my own head, So those years were hard, but I don't know. It taught me so much.
At what age did you come to terms with yourself and admit to your family of what happened to release all of that?
That was recently, actually, because I was facing some years in prison, and I was not allowed to come back to Vegas. And a lot of people in the boxing world didn't know what happened to me, truly. But I wasn't allowed to come back to Vegas, so I had to move back home. I didn't have anything. I lost everything at that time. And I realized, like, I had a conversation with my mom, and I opened up and I told her what had happened to me. Then she opened up and told me something about her past as well. And that was like such a liberating moment for both of us. And after that, I moved to Miami, and doors started opening left and right because I wasn't no longer like fighting myself.
Yeah.
And I got out of my own damn way at that time. And that's why I see some women in the fight world, and they're like, get out of your way, dude. Get out of your way. You're always your own. You're going to make it in this world if you get out of your way.
That's in anybody.
Yeah.
Any
100%.
Very safe.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So yeah, once I was liberated from that, it was, I had a lot of peace. And I stopped fighting myself. And I truly started falling in love with myself, because there was a moment in my time where I hated myself because of what had happened. But I took a lot of counseling, and yeah.
Did that piece come over you like as an awakening? What does that feel like to you? Is it a moment where you look out and you see something and it just like a light bulb goes off? How did that awakening and that love of self and knowledge of self come to you during that time when you were in Miami and those doors were starting to open up?
Well, truly, it came before that. It was out while I was going to college, I was heavily addicted to meth. And I found myself on my knees and praying hard, saying, help me. Like, I know I'm addicted at this time. And I called my sister the next day, or even that night. I think it was like really late. And I told her I was addicted. I was like, I need to drop out of college, and I need help. So I moved to Seattle. She helped me out. She drove by me a few hours later and picked me up. And, I don't think we told my parents at that time, because I was like, I don't want to disappoint my mom. I'm going to work on it. Because I think addiction, when I see people who are addicted, you have to want to get out of it.
Right.
And I knew I wanted to get out of it. So I did relapse like twice. But then after that, I went cold turkey, and I was like, I think I slept and I ate for like 3 weeks, because I was pretty skinny. I was addicted for like 3 months, but it was to the point where I needed help to get out. I never lost any teeth, thankfully, or started picking my skin, but the paranoia was crazy. So I've had a lot of dark moments, but oh man, that's why anything that I face now, I'm like, I've been through worse, and I'm still here to be able to have that problem. Thank you. Thank you, God, because I'm still here. I'm still breathing. When you're not breathing, that's a problem. So,
yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Come on now, you better testify for the.
I
oh
know.
man, I got.
Amen. Let's raise our offering. Come on.
I like that one right there.
Let's raise it up. And so now you are here. You have a fight. We don't know. It's coming. It's close. You have a location. Can you tell us? We have an opponent. That you don't want to disclose. What are you most looking forward to with this fight, with proving to working your way back? Because previously you were with Golden Boy, and we talked a little bit off the record about, you understood as a businesswoman from a business point of view. So what are you hoping that this fight helps progress, in your career and propelling you forward in the next steps in your career?
For this fight, truly is, I'm so excited about it because I'm going to be able to finally, I feel, show my truth, show my true potential. I posted about it, but I never really have gone into explanation what happened and what I did. I explanted my implants. That's why I say my next weigh-in is going to be a very small, surprise. And I'm now a part of the Itty Bitty Titty Gang.
There is nothing. There's no shame.
I love it.
Well, they say all you need is a mouthful.
Clothes.
I'm like, yes, but I don't know how to dress myself just yet with it. So
you can wear so many things.
Okay.
When you wear a sweater, it doesn't make you look big.
That's one thing I'm so happy about because I'm already big. I'm pretty wide. So now and everybody's like, you look so small. I'm like, I guess I should stop telling people I took out my implants, the first thing, and they're strangers. So, yeah.
You walking up to people on the street saying, hey, I took out my implants.
It's the most, I love it. I feel my best. I feel like I can, even the colors, I went hiking a day or 2 days after, and I looked at the sky, and the sky looked even bluer. There was always a glare. Something was always missing, and I shared with you guys the last fight. Sorry, I was medicated for that fight because I was having so many panic attacks, and it got to the point where I was like, I can't fight. Like, come fight night, like this is gonna be the worst thing. So I went to the doctor and I was medicated for that fight, but
legally medicated.
Legally, 100%. Like, it's not anything to get me. That's why with weed, it's like, doesn't weed slow you down?
Right.
So that's why
it,
it had to be a downer, So because I sparred with Cyborg and even them, they're like, you're having a freaking panic attack, and it was the most scariest thing. But luckily, I medicated myself because I was new to that. I was like, okay, I took 2 pills too close to each other. So that fight, I was like, and I was so relaxed.
And this is against Ibarra.
Yeah. No, sorry. No. That one, that I truly think not.
Wait, did you have boobs then?
Yeah,
with Ibarra?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fran Chan.
No. All those is with Ibarra, with all these. I told you guys off here, like, it's like, I know my truth of those fights and how my mental state and what I was feeling and how I was feeling for that fight. I know my truth. I don't want anybody to be like, those are excuses. They're still excuses, but they're my truth. It's like, if you're having or anxiety or panic attacks, I didn't know what that was. I just knew I feel so weird in here.
When you went to the doctor, because there have been a lot of I've seen a lot of people explant for various reasons, and were yours leaking or?
No. They were, when I was living out in Palm Springs with Joel Diaz, I looked into that. It was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago that I was out there. I looked into that at that time because I had all these symptoms. I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, what is this? I have implants, let me see. And I had every single symptom. And I was like, huh. And then it would be the next day or the next 2 days, I'd feel good. So I'd be like, okay, it wasn't that. But years went by of me feeling okay for like 2 days and me feeling my body would hurt. I would, but aching pain when I would be training, it always felt an outer body experience, but I would push through because I just felt like I'm always sore. I'm an athlete,
Yeah.
you know. But I never recovered. I would never recover, and it wasn't like soreness. It was like my bones would ache. This severe aching pain, and I would always tell people I have a huge fight before even stepping on the scale, seeing if my body won't fail me and will get there.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I think about it, it was horrible. I would cry a lot. But I was always like, no, God, you gave me this vision. I know I'm supposed to be here. I know I'm supposed to be here. But after the Miranda, my last fight at Pico Rivera,
Martin,
that was my last one. And but because I was like, enough. It's this. I know in my heart, I have absolutely no doubt. And some people were like, oh, don't do it. I was like, dude, I couldn't open up a water bottle. I was going to training. I had no strength because my hands were so inflammation in my body. I couldn't open up a water bottle. I'm like, I'm a boxer. I need my hands. I couldn't open up. I go to the gym. I had just finished crying, and I like go in there, and Eddie at that time, he was a massage therapist. He's like, are you okay? I was like, I'm good. And I broke down. He's like, you really think it's that? I said, yeah, I'm calling to make an appointment. I went to Tijuana because they have such a long wait here.
A lot of people are explanting.
But years, it takes them like 6 months to a year to get in. And I'm like, I don't have that time.
Yeah.
And it was COVID, and still, you know, I was like, it was actually this past, I think it was October, the ending of October. And, I called the doctor over there. I know people down there. It's not like, oh, I just Googled them.
I was gonna say, damn, girl.
I know people down there, and I trust these people. And I was like, I want to get them out. And he's like, are you sure? I was like, yes. It was once I wasn't even thinking about vanity at that time. I was like, my health.
Oh, it's your health.
My life.
Right.
Yeah.
My life. Like, it was to the point. Some days, like, I don't want to. I would rather die. It was so much. It was a lot of pain.
When you came out of your surgery, did you look in the mirror, or did you first touch? Was it weird to you, foreign?
I woke up. I remember I woke up. I took a deep breath. And I'm getting emotional because I dealt with this so long. I could breathe, like, fully, and it was hard. I don't want it to be.
No,
that's okay.
But that's the truth. So many women are going through this, or they may go through this, especially you're an athlete, that you're getting punched in the boobs, or just in general of anyone that's going to go get implants, because these are this is what possibly can happen. I have implants, and I always think, oh my God, everyone's getting explanted. I'm like, maybe is that why I'm tired? But I'm like,
I couldn't take a deep breath. I could never take a deep breath. So I was always fighting everything, but I was so used to being in pain that I was like, this is my normal.
Yeah.
So when I was able to do that, I was like, holy crap. It was hard at first, but I'm so much happier.
I want to circle back to something that you said before, also along with that. So you have physical pain. You make the decision to explant, but you said you're also dealing with anxiety, and we've seen fighters pulling out of fights recently dealing with anxiety, but you chose to medicate and power on through. So how did that help you? You mentioned that you took two close together and made you a little loopy. So when you see instances of fighters saying, oh, I have anxiety, I can't go out there and perform, et cetera, what do you think about your own experiences when you hear other fighters giving that as a reason to pull out of a fight?
I can relate to it. I can understand it so much more because I've been there. I would never understand anxiety. I have a friend who should always be like, my anxiety. I was like, I don't know what that is. So I mean, push through. There's no way to push through when you have that. But with that said, once I explanted, I haven't had to take medication. That was giving me anxiety. All these things, there's so many symptoms of that. Anxiety, the panic attacks. I was seeing a therapist, psychiatrist. I was in and out of hospitals all last year. I had that was my 4th surgery. I had 3 back-to-back surgeries, and then because I got them, what is it called? Switched out.
Yeah.
I had the saline. I had saline, and then I got silicone. And silicone. When I went to silicone, I had all those symptoms. But when I went to silicone, 3 months later, my symptoms were horrible.
Wow.
Horrible. My body just flared up. And that's
Do you
why all
think
the
your body, I mean, probably your body just rejected it. They were allergic, they were rejecting them, and luckily they didn't leak.
I had, well, I remember using an inhaler when I was younger. So what is that? Or even if you're autoimmune, if something is wrong with your
autoimmune?
Yes, you're more prone to your
Getting
body.
sicknesses, any kind of sicknesses.
From even like knee replacements or whatever it is. It's a foreign object into your body. So once you do that, your body's going to react to try to protect it, and it's going to flare up, you know, and show all these symptoms of like anxiety, because it's trying to alert you basically. And that's why I'm like, I'm so in tune with my body. With something's off, I'm like, something's going on. What have I eaten? What have I, you know, all these things I go through a checklist. But yeah, some people react to it, some people don't. God bless the people who don't. And I hope you never have to deal with that, because it's such a, it's horrible to think. I got them in 6 months before I walked into a boxing gym. So I never knew what it was to be an athlete or that sore, you know, before it, because I got them done, but then I would turn into a boxer. Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm always sore, you know, so that's normal. I'm always working out. So to me, it was normal. But yeah, I have zero symptoms, literally zero symptoms from all that. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited to get into the ring, because now this is how I explain to people. You know, math, 1 + 1 right now. During fight night, I'd always be like, I'd go in there and I would be like, okay, what do I do?
Whoa.
Yes.
You go blank?
Blank. And that's why it's like, if somebody were to ask me 1 + 1 right now, it's okay, it's 2. Ask me 1 + 1 fight night. What is it? And that's what Nancy is actually the one. That's anxiety.
So let me ask you, when you're in the ring, like say for the Alma fight that you knew was happening, and that was such a good fight, but when you're in the ring and then you go to the corner, are you understanding what what's going through your mind? Or
the way I explained it was, well, one, my trainer didn't show up to that fight.
Who was your trainer? Not Buddy. Oh.
So we had, so I no longer train with him. You know, we're
Who are
so
you
cool
with
and
now?
everything. Eric Brown.
Oh, Eric Brown.
Yeah,
Oh, we're just talking about him.
He's awesome. So, I had asked. This isn't talking bad about anybody.
Yeah.
But I had asked him, hey, I want to know ahead of time, are you going to be able to make it, so I can learn, so I can process it.
Okay.
Right.
And he told me he wasn't going to come to fight as I was going to the arena to fight.
Oh God.
Did he give you a reason?
No, but I knew the reason. I knew the reason. And so I was like, okay, he's not going to process it. Okay, you got it. But I felt my body, and I was like, don't think about it. The more you tell you, don't think about it, you're going to think about it. So come fight night, I remember the way I said it was like, I felt like I was in an ocean and I didn't know which way to go. And I was like, go forward, Marty, go forward. And my body just would not react. And I would go to the corner, and it was an outer body experience. That's how I always would say it. And then I told Nancy that, and she's like, that's anxiety. I'm like, huh. And I would look back on many fights, and literally, but that's why I'm just like, I'm so excited to come this fight night, because I can now think.
Okay.
I should not have to be asking myself, when I go in, how do I do that? I know what to do when I go into, or even as I'm going in to set up for a a punch. I know what I'm going to do but I could not think. I would just be surviving, because I would be like, okay, do this. My body would never freaking react. And again, people are going to say those are excuses. That's why I was very hesitant to talk about it.
I didn't know you were going to talk about it.
It's my truth. It's my truth. And I am at peace with that. And yeah, a mentor once told me they always come back.
I commend you for doing something that so many women are scared to do, because they hold on to something as vanity, as it makes them who they are. But you could have lost your life, girl. Like now you're a healthy
100%.
person.
Yeah.
And just taking that self-stock to return to the roots of boxing, because you could have easily done that and said, you know what, I want to maybe go back and be a paralegal or do anything or be an author or do anything. But you still came back to the sweet science. So is that a happy place? Does your viewpoint now of boxing change now that you feel like you have this clarity? Like, what is the relationship, your personal relationship with boxing like now that was different from before?
I knew I loved the sport. How I told you guys, I fell in love with the sport in the very beginning because it would cause me so much pain. It was a love and hate relationship. I knew I loved it at one point, so I knew I still loved it, but I didn't love how it made me feel, how much pain I would go through. And now there was no way, there was never a question that I would just, leave boxing like this. Like, even when they shut the doors, when I was sitting in a cell, I still knew. I was like, I'm gonna come out of this. I knew it. At that point, it was never like, oh, I'm not gonna go back to boxing. I started from the bottom again. And here again, I'm starting from the bottom because nobody believes in me. Nobody believes, and I don't blame them. I'm a very business person. Like, I don't blame you for not believing in me for what I showed. That's what I showed you. If somebody's a cheater and says, oh, I'm not a cheater, but they're out there cheating, it's like, no, you're showing me this. So I can't blame you for not believing in me, but just
all it do is
just
show.
Tune in.
Right. Now, can I ask you, I mean, I know it's personal, but you did speak about it. Why did you go to jail and how long ago was this?
I guess the wrong cop.
I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I was like, oh my.
I was like, oh.
No, I was carrying too many prescribed pills.
Here in Vegas?
No.
Oh.
Out in East Coast.
And so why were you not allowed back here in Vegas?
Because my case was with some people here. And they didn't want me to come back with these people.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. I applaud you just for your candor.
Right.
Because, so much of what we see in just society and life is so curated and properly planned, and you don't see the real of a person. Everything's perfect. Everything is Instagram perfect, and it's polished and it's filtered. And, we see a highlight reel of people's lives and not realizing what the flip side of it. So I thank you for your candor.
Absolutely.
It's inspiring.
I thank you. Thank you for that. I knew my dirt, I guess, or the skeletons. I was never going to be in a position where somebody was going to say something about me. It's like, no, you're hearing it from me. I'm not ashamed of my past. My past is my past. Like,
it's your story.
I learned so much from it. I'm so much smarter. Like, there's certain things that I learned in jail. I learned how to thread my own eyebrows. I'm saving them.
Really?
Yes, I learned how to thread my own eyebrows. Like, we got a tampon string in jail. This is jail talk. Okay. So the tampon string, Sorry.
Oh no, he's heard it all from us.
Man, you should hear some of the other episodes. Break it down.
There's a thread inside. So you do this apart. I don't know what it's called. And there's a thread. And then you just like loop it around and tie it. And then you just thread your own eyebrows.
Oh.
So that was pretty cool.
Some DIY.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how to make Pruno?
Who?
that?
Oh, isn't that juice?
Like the jail wine? Give us the top
I know, what
three
you learn
things
in
that's going
jail?
on in the women's
Oh my
jail.
gosh. Toasting a bread in the microwave. I burned a few, but it was like, you have to have, I think it's like 35 seconds in there, and you just put a slice of toast or bread, and it toasts in there, and you have to flip it so it won't
In the
burn.
microwave?
In the microwave.
It doesn't make it soggy?
No, it makes it toasts it without burning it. So it's a certain amount of
Really?
time. Yeah.
So we thread an eyebrow.
What else
make
do
it
you
toast.
My sponsors are loving this.
But you know what? You might get a bread sponsor.
Okay. Man, you out here
or a
saving,
microwave sponsor.
you out here saving lives because you're giving the real.
Hell yeah.
Yes, yeah. Even while I was in there, we had like a talk with a group of inmates, and then I did go back to a jail and I spoke to them, and I was like, why are you here? And they're like, oh well, I can no longer do this. I've whatever, sold drugs, or I could no longer do this. I was a drug addict. I could no longer do this. I was molested. So did I. I was there. And look, you can do so much with what you have. Don't look at what you lost, and look at what you still have and what you can create with that. And God can do so much. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
Mari,
Always
wow.
focus on what you have and not what you lost.
Before we wrap this show, I want to ask you now, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I am going to turn 35 April 16th, which is Selena Quintanilla's birthday also.
Oh,
girl.
my son's birthday is April 15th.
Yes.
So yeah.
Wait, so
Happy
you're Taurus?
Aries.
Aries.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
What would you tell your younger self now?
It gets better. It gets better. Just hold on. Truly, life is worth living one more day, you know? And after that one more day, it's one more day. Because there was a moment I didn't see it. I truly didn't see it, but not even, and this may sound harsh, but not even fear of God is what kept me here. Because I was like, I can't take my own life. Like, yeah, it's going to cause my family so much pain, but I just, because of my faith, I can't do that. Even though, yeah, it was so hard, but never. It takes a lot of, I don't know. I don't even know what to say on strength or courage to actually go forth with that. But I was close at sometimes, you know, they had pumped my stomach to take the full bottle of pills when I was in high school. But it gets better. It gets better.
You are saving people.
Thank you. I know it's not even boxers. It's someone out there that's going to watch this and hear this. It's going to resonate with them and it could save their
Absolutely.
lives. So thank you, Mari, for sharing your story. We appreciate wow, I didn't expect this.
I know you're our first crier.
I know.
I know. I hate that.
No, it's all right.
That's real life.
This is, yeah.
Because we're so trained to hide your emotions, shove it on
Yeah.
down, suck it up, especially as people of color. You know, stand up. You ain't got time for that. Anxiety. What is that?
Yeah.
What you mean? Get out there and work hard. Pull yourself up.
I've spoken
But,
about it so
man,
many times, and I'm surprised. I don't even know what part I cried. Because I always say speaking about it is so much therapy for yourself.
Exactly.
You think it's you're helping others, but you're helping yourself.
really does
so
help you.
much more.
This is a
So,
safe
It's a
space.
safe space.
I
It
told
really
you.
is.
We
And
told
people
you.
don't know your story. People who know you may have never heard of your story, and they're going to be like, "Oh shit,
Exactly.
okay."
I see why she's the way she is. Don't care. I really don't care.
Oh, Mari, well,
Thank
thank
you
you
guys
so
so
much,
much.
for
Thank you.
joining us on our podcast.
Yeah.
But you're going to be joining us for our After Dark show.
After Dark.
Ooh.
We got that song, Freaky Deaky.
You'll see. And I can't wait to see the new Itty Bitty Titty Committee. I can't wait to see
You
the
know,
outfit.
My dad used to always say, all you need is a mouthful. That's plenty.
But you know what? This is the best part. I don't have to lose. I lost 2.5
How, I was going to say, how many pounds?
Oh.
So that's why I was on weight. Like,
Oh.
because it was the easiest thing. My body wasn't fighting me. It was the easiest thing. I was like, I did not suffer. I was like, oh yeah, because you don't have tits anymore, girl.
Okay. Don't show up to the scale with a hamburger in your hand. Don't do that. We'll talk about
Girl, she know you would be like, I'm on weight.
Well, are we getting started?
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another podcast episode. Tune in for our After Dark show. We're going to have Maricela on, and she's going to be telling us her deepest, darkest secrets.
No
Oh,
crying.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you'll lots of noises coming out of us. Ooh.
Jesus.
And we're just drinking water right now. And look at, she got the jug. That's
right.
Yeah, that's what I drink. You
Yes.
know? All right, guys, tune in. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maricela Cornejo, La Diva, my beautiful, sexy co-host, Jeandra LeBeauf.
Oh, and one last time, social media.
Your
Drop
social
'em.
media, please.
At Mari Cornejo Boxing.
And where can they get your book?
On Amazon.
Is it English,
Barnes and Noble.
Espanol, or both?
There's both, yeah.
I want one.
Spanish and English.
I want
Yeah,
one for
love
my
you,
son.
Mari. I know, yes.
Woo. Okay, guys, we're gonna get out of here and get ready for the After Dark special. Woo. Okay, I'm Cynthia Conte. Bye, guys.